Hey, what is up guys? Epic Pokemon TCG here, and today guys I have a deck profile for you. And in this video we're going to be taking a look at Tauros Garbodor with hammers. Now I did use this deck recently at a league challenge, and I am going to just go ahead and show you the list that I used exactly instead of making some changes, because I'm going to leave that up to you guys, because I feel like my list is extremely changeable because I saw a lot of different things you can do throughout the tournament I was playing. And the list will be down in the description below. And I just want to go ahead and note the three matchups that I had. First round I went against Darkrai Giratina, and because I suck and I make misplays, I ended up losing that one because of how I played the late game out. And then the second game I played against Tauros Garbodor with a Tauros tech, ended up winning that one. And then last round I played against a Mega Rayquaza Jolteon and ended up taking that one. And I actually like this deck. At first I wasn't really feeling it just because I found that how I prefer to play Tauros is more of a supporting Pokemon. But don't get me wrong, I do love this Pokemon. I love it so much that I bought 5 of these bad boys. And so, yeah. And also here is my little second place card, if you can even see that. But the strategy of this deck is extremely simple. And I'll kind of go over it as we go on here. But along with Tauros, we do play a 2-2 Garbodor and 2 Shaymin. But Tauros is really cool because it takes a single DCE to attack with it. It has Rage for 20, and then does 10 more for each damage counter on this Pokemon. And then Horn Attack does 60 damage, and then Mad Bull GX, which will be your GX attack of this deck, does 30 times the number of damage counters on Tauros. Yeah. And so that's pretty cool. Basically, this card is all about, if you attack me, I'm going to punish you for it, which is really cool. And I went for like the disruption route and paired it up with Garbodor. Garbodor is really cool with Garbotoxin. It pretty much just shuts down all abilities. So Scoundrel Ring, Volcanion's ability, I can't think of the name, Steam Up, I think that's what it's called. And then set up with Hoopa, like all the abilities are just completely out the window. They don't work. And that just hurts a lot of decks. And then of course the 2 Shaymin are in here for the setup, just consistency reasons. I just smacked the table. But anyway, yeah, that's what they're in here for, just consistency reasons. And I'm just gonna warn you, my supporter count is really weird, and I understand that this deck has a lot of changes that could be made to it, and yeah. Before I get attacked in the comment section. But we have 4 Sycamore, pretty self-explanatory. 3 in, of course this deck is all about disruption, and so I figured late game I could kind of mess with my opponent's hand a little bit. Plus N's just overall a very strong supporter. 2 Lysandre, this is just so you can bring up Pokemon. Sometimes Tauros does struggle with one-shotting stuff, and so if you damage a Pokemon with Horn Attack and then they retreat it for some reason or just get it out of the active spot and attack you with something else, then basically you can just Lysandre something up and just hit it. 1 Pokemon Ranger, this card is extremely important. This card right here is why I even stayed in the game at all in my first round. This will take out Giratina's Chaos Will ability. Whenever it attacks you can't play Special Energy. And on top of that, it'll help you out against Jolteon. And so many other things. And basically, it just removes all effects of attacks. That's what it does. This is a very key card, and I think probably the most important supporter in this deck in a lot of different matchups. 1 Misty's Determination. This card came in absolutely clutch. I'm so happy my friend recommended it to me. Basically, you just discard a card, and then you look at the top 8 cards of your deck, and then choose a card you find there. Since I only play 4 of these, sometimes these were hard to fetch out, and Misty's Determination just made that so much easier. Being able to VS Seeker for the Misties and then look at the top 8 was just so helpful. 1 Delinquent. I played 2 Parallel City in here, and so most of the time I would discard my own Shaymin or just whatever, and I've got to where if I don't play stadiums in a deck, which happens sometimes, I'll put in a Delinquent just to kind of screw with my opponent a little bit. This deck was like really disruption based, and so I figured Delinquent was just kind of an obvious choice. I originally had Team Skull Grunt, but I felt like Team Skull Grunt was more of a chance type of thing, whereas Delinquent, I know if I can play it, and I don't want to waste my turn on a supporter on like a big if. Team Flare Grunt, this is just another way to discard energy, and you can keep doing it over and over because you have VS Seeker. And you guys know what supporter's coming next. It's in everything I build. I really like Lillie. If you don't like Lillie, that's cool. Me personally, I just really like this card, and I keep putting it in stuff. Um, that's about all my explanation there. But that is the supporter count. You can definitely change it up. I mean, it's up to you. It's just whatever you prefer. I went for like a little heavier support-based route because I had so much extra room. I originally was playing acrobikes, but acrobikes, I'm not going to lie and be blunt, they're pissing me off. I would flip over a DCE and a Tauros or something like that, and they were just bad. And I was just like, I'm not dealing with this. But to go along with the theme of the supporters here, of course, we have 4 VS Seeker to get those beautiful supporters back and keep using them. Alrighty, I'm going to note, yes, you can change up the supporters. I went with that just because I was experimenting, and I ended up with this weird, wacky deck with a lot of stuff going on. It's very changeable. But the next up, we have the ball cards of the deck, which were pretty important to me. I love my balls. I had to say it. 4 Ultra Balls just to search out really anything, and then we have Nest Ball. This was so I could search out my Tauros mostly, but if I needed a Trubbish, I can just grab it. And you don't want to grab Shaymin. Don't grab Shaymin. I didn't do it, just saying, don't grab Shaymin. But Nest Ball was basically just a free search, and everything in here, except for Shaymin, was a good target. Next up, we have 4 Crushing Hammer. As soon as I can get them, there we go. Yeah, we have 4 Crushing Hammer, and then we have 2 Enhanced Hammer just to discard some energy. Now, I understand that it does sound kind of counterintuitive to be discarding energy off your opponent's Pokemon when Tauros literally says, basically, the more damage I have on me, the more I do. But I was just kind of realistic. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to just keep my opponent from attacking the entire game. I knew that they would get attacks off, and so I just said, I'm going to mess with them a little bit, and if they are able to attack me, then I'm going to try my hardest to just get the energy off the board as soon as it gets on, and then I'm going to rage and hope I can keep disrupting them enough. It did work out pretty well. It just, that first game, I just really messed up and made a gigantic misplay. I liked it. I mean, it was funny because like I was hitting Crushing Hammers like crazy throughout that tournament, and I think I missed 2 or 3. So that was pretty awesome. I think every single game I played all 4, which was awesome. Next up, we have the tools. It's going to be 3 Fighting Fury Belt and 3 Floatstone. Fighting Fury Belt is just pretty much going to make your Tauros even tankier. It is going to make it not only be able to take more damage, which will dish out more damage, but it'll just make it more of a nuisance, I feel like. And then, of course, 3 Floatstones. These are more so for Garbodor, but you can throw them on anything, which is really cool. Alrighty, so 2 Special Charge. Like I said, I only play 4 DCE in this deck. That is the only energy. And so these are going to allow you to get back more DCEs. I even contemplated running 3 of these. I did try 3, but I felt like they were a little too clunky. I kept drawing them whenever I didn't need them. 2 kind of seemed to work out because I would wait for 2 to hit the discard pile, I would hold it, and I would just use it at the right time. But these will just allow you to have more uses for your double colorless energy, allow them to just kind of get recycled. Then we have 4 Trainer's Mail. This is so you can kind of fetch out your Pokemon, or I almost said Pokemon. So you can fetch out some of those key supporters and stuff. Very good card. Super Rod, if your matchup is very reliant on Garbodor and you need to just absolutely keep it on the field, this is a good way to put it back in your deck. And on top of that, with me, how I play Parallel City, this was really good because I can just keep using Shaymin. I think one match I used Shaymin 4 times. And then on top of that, I was able to shuffle in Tauros back in, so that was really good. Because it's annoying when like 2 of them are prized and you're kind of just going through a game with 2 Tauros. I had that happen to me and it was very annoying. 1 Escape Rope, I wanted a switching card in here. I felt comfortable having one in here, and that's just pretty much the reason why I put it in there. 2 Parallel City, this is mostly in here so that way you do have a target with Delinquent. And how I play Parallel City, like I said, is I'll discard my Shaymins. First game, the reason why I lost was because of the Lysandre Shaymin, and that is like really annoying to me. I hate losing like that. And so there's not really any other supporter that would really help this deck out, probably except maybe Silent Lab. But other than that, I mean, Parallel City was really good. You can also, on top of that, if you're like just sitting there disrupting your opponent's Pokemon, and they have 3 bench. You can just kind of say screw it and play your Parallel City down. Lock them down from playing any other Pokemon and discard their energy. It's beautiful. It's a big work of art. Kidding. And energy for DC. You've seen it like 3 times this video. But the strategy is very simple. Just use your disruption cards to mess with your opponent, and then the more damage Tauros takes, the more dangerous it becomes. That's about it. This deck is extremely straightforward. I mean, the only thing you really got to worry about is whenever you run into another Tauros. You just want to play that one smart. And I do want to note, before you guys are cracking your knuckles and going at it in the comment section at me, I know this deck is very changeable. I know I did make some mistakes with it. I understand that. And unfortunately, I have to take this apart because I have to work on other decks for the week, pretty much, for videos. So, yes, this deck was really fun. It did get me 2nd place at a league challenge, but I did see a lot of the errors that I made with this deck. But overall, it was fun to play. It was really cool. Mad Bull GX is probably one of the most broken freaking things I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, it was a blast, and I will definitely rebuild this in the future and make some adjustments to it. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like it, subscribe for some more content. All the love is appreciated. And you guys have a fantastic day. And this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out.